Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. Bread in my hands is Muybridge by Guy Delisle. I think it's Muybridge. I'm not positive it's Muybridge, but we're going to say Muybridge. So this is a graphic novel by Guy Delisle about Eadweard Muybridge, who basically kind of like founded motion pictures in a way. So Muybridge was an interesting dude. So we're talking like 1800s when this was going on. He died, I believe, in 1904. So he kind of bounced around, wanted to go make money in the U.S., and eventually kind of stumbles upon photography. Doesn't quite dig it. A whole bunch of stuff happens. But eventually dives into photography and gets really good at it and really popular. So he winds up getting hired by this really rich guy, who went on to go found Stanford University, and he winds up hiring Muybridge to try to figure out the motion of horses out of everything, which is kind of a fascinating thing. And there's like this debate going on at the time about whether or not horses, like how their feet touch the ground or they don't touch the ground. Basically, how do they run? Do they run like frogs and hop along the way? And this is kind of a fascinating debate. Not something I've really ever thought about. Muybridge winds up like going through and figuring out this process to photograph it. And what it really comes down to is kind of like it's the original kind of motion picture, but it seems to have more in common with like bullet time photography, like, out of The Matrix is kind of the way of thinking it. And like he solves this problem is what comes down to it. And then he goes on and does lots of photography of like naked people, and it becomes a pretty big deal around the world. So he ends up like traveling around the world. Other people kind of like take on the project and become super famous off of it and improve. And so really this is like the graphic novel about Muybridge and kind of the birth of motion pictures. It's thick. It's filled with information. I'll admit, like, it's kind of boring at times, but Guy Delisle delivers his stories in such a way that they're still entertaining. Like, I don't know how, it's like very dry, but there's like humor and sarcasm throughout the graphic novel, this graphic memoir, or whatever you want to call it, that's fascinating. So Guy Delisle, like, has done amazing works. Previously, he spent time in Pyongyang, Burma, and Jerusalem for work, and did graphic novels all about these experiences. And these graphic novels were brilliant because of their, like, observations of small little things that, I think all of us would kind of be like interested in. So it was a lot of not like deep diving in maybe the cultures, the people, or anything like that, or the politics of it, but like really simple things. Like he was living in a hotel in Pyongyang, and he kind of goes over all the small things he observed, like fruit bowls and the lack of guests, and it's a really interesting read. And I feel like this kind of plays off of that in a lot of ways. Like, he really kind of nails down small little details that are interesting. Like, overall, the story, like, it's very dry. Like, it's a very dry thing. It's not like some grand adventures or crazy experiences. Like, this guy, goes out and photographs stuff and travels here and photographs stuff. And I think maybe the most interesting thing is how he was brought up on murder charges and got off of it. So, like, it's fascinating like that, and the people that are surrounded in this are somewhat boring. Like, it's not this drama-filled experience, but it's this taking you through history and all this stuff that this Muybridge guy did. And I think what's also interesting is that his photographs are like still published today. He had a bunch of photographs he took of like people and animals, and they were in tons of volumes, and eventually they were shrunk down to 2 volumes, and those 2 volumes have been in print for 120 years, constantly in print. And Guy Delisle talks about how he used them, and that's how he discovered this guy, and he used them to figure out motion of people and animals and stuff like that. So, like, this guy's work was groundbreaking. And the big thing, there was motion pictures in a way before Muybridge, but where he really kind of stood out and broke through was he showed real people doing this, like the actual average person doing these things of, going up and down stairs or smoking or putting on stockings. And that was really where he came in. It wasn't just, drawings of and being shown in like motion. It was people. It's interesting. Like, it's a really, really interesting history. And as I said, like, the book it's a little dry. It's a little boring at times. But still, like, there's just a punch to Delisle's art and his observations and his storytelling that I think are fascinating. And to me, this is one, like, if you're really into photography, check it out. Like, he actually has original photos in here that he references that are really, really cool. And there's a point where he goes to England and winds up doing a show for the Prince of Wales and does a boxing match. And Delisle actually puts the boxing match in the book. I don't know how well it's going to come off. You might see the small little circles in the side. But it's the, like, emotion of the boxing match that was going on. So there's just this brilliant aspect to this book. It's not quite I wasn't quite sucked into it as much as I have in previous Delisle's book stuff, but, like, it's still excellent. It's really, really freaking good. I'd recommend it. Like, if you're into photography or into history, I think it's well worth it. There's tangents in here that are fascinating, the whole Stanford stuff, and go check it out. It's really an intriguing piece of history, and I learned a hell of a lot. I didn't know any of this, so... out in shops, you can go get this. We've got a link beneath our video. Put in your zip code to tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We have some links where you can purchase your own. There'll be affiliate links, so do a small percentage, and by doing that, you'll support our site. So thank you. And just watching our videos support us as always, so thank you for that. If you are into comics, into graphic novels, check us out every day at graphicpolicy.com. And of course, we're on Facebook, TikTok, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.